Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to Friday's maths lesson. I'm sure you've got that Friday feeling, ready for the weekend after another week of lots of home learning going on. Okay, we're going to get our brains working mathematically. We're going to have a little look at some division by 10, 100 and 1,000. We had a little go at a similar grid when we were multiplying by 10, 100 and 1,000. So we're going to have a look at the inverse today as our little starter. So you will need to look at book 5, page 17. We're looking at question 1. And I've got the grid that you can see in your book on the board here. Okay. So if you remember, last week we had a look at multiplying by 10, 100 and 1,000. And if we multiplied by 10, the digits moved one place to the left. If we multiplied by 100, they moved 2 places. If we multiplied by 1,000, they moved 3 places. Well, the opposite is the case when we divide. So when we divide by 10, digits move 1 place to the right. By 100, 2 places to the right. And by 1,000, yes, you've guessed it, 3 places to the right. So let's have a little look. We've got a number here, 582. Let's see how we get these various different answers off the board. I've got a little grid at the bottom. So let's have a little look. Okay. So what we have to imagine, is with our number 582, it is 582.000000. But we don't need to write the 0.00. We just use it as 582. But it's important to remember that decimal point there, because when we're dividing a number by 10 like this, we're going to get into decimals. The digit's going to move into parts of wholes. Okay, so we need to remember that decimal place and that decimal point, and it helps us to visualize the digits moving. So my advice would be for this question, draw yourself a grid. Okay, so 582, I'm dividing by 10 to start off with. So they're going to move 1 place to the right. So that 2 is going to go here. The 8 is going to go here, and the 5 is going to go there. So I end up with 58.2. If I divide 582, by 100, they're going to move 2 places to the right. So that 2 is going to go here. The 8 will go here, and the 5 will end up here. Okay, so they've moved 2 places. And then if we end up, if we look at 1,000, well, they move 3 places. So if I rub that one out, okay, they're going to move 3 places. Let's get my board all back again. Okay, 3 places this time. So 1, 2, 3, that's where the 2 would end up. The 8 would then end up here, the 5 here. Now I can't leave this because I've got a decimal point there, 0.582. I've got to put a 0 there. So we end up with 0.582. So that's multiplied by 1,000, and we can have a little look at the grid, and it does tell us indeed that our answers are correct. So if you draw yourself a grid, you will be able to move those digits. Remember, we're going to the right. Okay, so that will go 1 place to the right, 2 places, 3 places. We're going to the right this time because these numbers are getting smaller. Okay, so these digits are moving. You'll need to make sure that in some cases you've got decimal points so that you can see. Okay, so you're going to have a little look at this as a starter. Draw yourself your grid for each number, and then you'll be able to see. I'll put my grid back up so you can see what it looks like, and that might help you. Obviously, you might need to add some of the columns. You might need to add thousands and tens of thousands when you've got bigger numbers, okay? But have a little look there, and it's a nice clear grid, and you'll be able to use that. So you'll need your purple book. You will need something to write with. Don't forget to do your grid, and you're doing the first question, page 17 in book 5 as your warm-up. Okay, pause the video and have a go. So now you've warmed your brains up mathematically, we're going to have a little look at some short division. Now, it's been a little while since we've used this method. Okay, we call it the Buzzstop method. It's been a little while since we've used it, so we're going to get it out. I'm going to model some examples of these. Now, some will have remainders and some won't. So we're going to have a little look and see. I'll show you both types of answers, so how you record them. Okay, so let's have a go. So let's have a look at A. We've got 520 divided by 4. So 4 goes into 5 once, and there's 1 left over. So 4's into 12 go 3, and there's nothing left over there. And 4's into 0 doesn't go. So 4's into 520 goes is 130. So 520 divided by 4 is 130. You get a bigger answer on the top here, then you have done something wrong. When we divide, we always get a smaller answer. Okay, so let's have a look at C then. So 8 into 9 goes once, so we've got 1 left over. 8 into 10 goes once with 2 left over. And 8 into 29 goes 3, which is 24. Okay, remainder, so we put a little r, and we've got the difference between 24 and 29 is 5. So it's 113, remainder 5. Okay, I'll do one more, and then you're going to have a go at the others on the board. So let's do this one. Let's do E. So 8 into 4 doesn't go. Okay, so I can put my 0 there, and I've put my 4 there. So now 8's into 46. Well, 8's into 46, we think 5 8's are 40. Okay, 6 8's are 48. So it's got to be 5, and I've got 6 left over. And 8's into 64 goes 8. So I haven't got a remainder there. So that will just, so I know that 464 divided by 8 is 58. Okay, so you're going to work your way through in your purple book, having a little look at those questions, and then we'll have a little look together and see if you've got them correct. Okay, so you've got 974 divided by 9, 792 divided by 6, 987 divided by 7, 655 divided by 4, and finally 429 divided by 7. So you will need your purple book, you'll need to have something to write with, and I'd like you to have a little go at these little short division questions. Let's see how you can do. Okay, pause the video, have a go. Okay, year 6, let's see how you got on then. So I'm going over here. So 974 divided by 9. Well, 9 into 9 goes once. 9 into 7 doesn't go. So I move the 7 over. 9 into 74. Well, 9 8's are 72. So it's 8, but I've got 2 left over. So it's 108, remainder 2. Little r and a 2. Let's have a little look over here then. So 6 into 792. So 6 into 7 goes once and 1 left over. 6 into 19 goes 3 with 1 left over. 6 into 12 goes 2. So nice and easy, no remainder. So you should have got 132. Okay, here, 7 into 9 goes once with 2 left over. 7 into 28 goes 4. Nothing left over, it's exact. 7 into 7 goes once. Okay, so we've got 4 into 655. Well, 4 into 6 goes once, 2 left over. 4 into 25 goes 24, which is 6, and 1 left over. 4 into 15 goes 3, which is 12, and we've got 2 left over. Okay, so we put that little R and the 2 left over. So then finally, we've got 429 divided by 7. So 7's into 4 doesn't go. 7's into 42 goes 6. And 7's into 9 goes once, and we've got 2 left over. So C, G, F, and H all had remainders. The rest you could divide exactly. So hopefully you got all of those right. Let's have a little look then at what you're going to do today. So you are going to look at Book 5, page 15. You are going to do questions 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so Book 5, page 15. Now, if I put that under the visualizer, you can see, okay, you might recognise question 1 because we've done that on the board. Okay, and you've done that in your book, so you don't need to do question 1. Question 2, you are dividing each of those numbers by 5. And what are the remainders? Okay, so it's telling you there's going to be remainders. What are they? Same here, you're dividing by 10 here. And what are the remainders? Okay, so think about what comes after the decimal point. Okay, on this one. So think about what we did as a starter. That was one of the reasons we did it. So have a look. When you get to your decimal point, anything that comes off after it are the remainders. Okay, so then we've got question 3, and you've got to work out, the questions. You've got to match it to the answer. So you are given some questions here. You've got to calculate them, and then you can match them up to the answer. Okay, nice and straightforward then with that. And you've had lots of practice this morning with it. So then finally, because we've done lots and lots of maths this morning, I've got 2 little challenges here, a little bit like we've done previously, where you've had to work out what's the error. This is working out the missing number. So you're told here the answer to the division has no remainders. So there's no remainders in this question. Okay, you've got to divide the number, find out what is that missing digit there and what's the missing digit there. Okay, that will complete the number. Okay, and then you've got the answer to this problem has no remainder. Find the missing numbers here. So have a little go. These are a little bit tricky. Okay, but I am sure you're going to be able to do them really, really well. Okay, so going back, you're going to do, going back up, got where I was, page 15, questions 2, 3, and 4. Okay, 2, 3, and 4, and then you've got the challenge on the board here. So you've got some calculations that you're going to do. All right, I am sure you're going to fly through these, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do. Have a lovely Friday and have a lovely weekend, and I will see you bright and breezy on Monday for our last week of home learning math style. Okay, bye everybody. Bye-bye.